We'll let the room start to fill up here. There we go. Welcome everybody to this session of Virtual Coaches Clinic. And joining us today from South Carolina is Coach Nick Pasqua at Southern Wesleyan University. We're going to be talking man offense and more than a ball screen offense. So got a chance to visit with Coach a little bit before the session started here, and really looking forward to hearing his concepts and the ideas that he's taken to build the program there. So Coach, I'm just going to turn it over to you and just let you take it away here.
All right, sounds great. Well, first, just want to thank you for letting me be a part of this and share some things that we have kind of learned as far as building an offense and making it efficient and being able to score at an efficient level and deciding the pace you're going to play, everything that goes into building a pretty quality offense. And nothing that I want to share today is probably earth-shattering or anything new. We've stolen a lot of stuff from some of our favorite actions and try to combine it all into one thing to where it's more than just your continuity ball screen that's easy to scout and making it having a lot of variety and some different things. So I'm going to break down the main keys to each position, and then a lot of film breakdown. I think that's probably the easiest way to learn what it is for me, and I think for our guys too. So you can see here that if you got any questions, swoopbasketballinfo@gmail.com would be the best way to reach out to us. If you want, any copies of the demonstrations or whatever, feel free to send us an email. We'll get back to you and get you the stuff that you're looking for. So some offensive stats here. I'm not going to bore you with all this stuff. I know we want to get into talking about the X's and O's, but we did have the #1 offense in our league, Conference Carolinas, which this past year was top to bottom, probably the best our league's ever been. A couple of kids that have gone to play at the Division I level out of our league, and an All-American, top 5 scorers in the country in it. So top to bottom, we had an outstanding league. Our man offense this year was right at .967 points per possession. So you're always trying to get to one. One would be a point every time you got the ball. So we were number 38 in D2 this year in points in our man offense, #1 in our league. So we went from my first year here, we won 2 games. We went from number 300 and something in the country to number 38. So we made a pretty big jump there. We were second in our conference this year in fewest turnovers. It's something we preach. We were #1 for most of the year, and then slid to #2. We will talk about how we run pretty much all our man offense from out of bounds on the side and under. And I think it's a unique thing that we do. It's a way that you don't overload your guys with more and more and more plays. So we were number 33 in the country this year on our out of bounds on the side actions. So we were at 1 point per possession there. And then our offensive efficiency was 113.6. So some offensive keys. So how did we kind of come up on this? So I love motion type offenses, Princeton actions, Davidson actions, flex, very familiar with all those type of actions. And when you become a head coach, you get so kind of caught up in, well, I want to do this, I want to do this. And so you want to run Princeton, you want to run flex, you want to run mover blocker type stuff. You want to try all this stuff. And there's not enough time in the day to do it, not enough time to get good at it. So I had to find something that I could teach. I would struggle just going out and teaching straight motion. So I had to have some type of foundation. The ball screen motion, which everybody pretty much knows now with the back door and the fill and the side ball screen, kind of became like our base thing. So we took that and then we started adding all these different actions into it that we liked to make it more of a motion offense. One thing we try to do is play with great pace. Now, does that mean we play breakneck speed all the time? We're not there, but we're not slow either. We averaged about 83 points a game this past year, which was probably 5th or 6th in our league, actually. The 3 teams that we beat in our conference tournament to win the championship all averaged 90 plus. So we were kind of right there. If we could run, we would. If not, we felt very comfortable in the half-court game. And I think finding that pace that fits you is really important, what you can live with, what you can't live with. But I'm talking more about our pace in the half-court, like getting it 3 to 4 sides. If we could get the ball 3 to 4 sides, 3 to 4 reversals, we felt like we were going to get an open shot at the rim or a standstill 3. Those are the two shots we preach, and we won a lot. In our conference semifinal game, we had 36 points at the rim, and we were 18 out of 20. Those were uncontested layups, 36 points off uncontested layups. And that came all out of this offense that we're going to go through. We had 9 to 10 different actions that could happen at any time, and we'll explain a little bit more what an action is. But if you're at the high school level right now, or even at our level, you can't overload guys with stuff. 9 to 10. That was at the very end of the year. For the majority of the year, we're probably looking at 4 to 5 different things that can happen in the flow of our offense. We're not calling plays a lot. Guys are calling stuff, but it's more read based. One thing I do like about it is if you want to run some chin action into it, you want to run some Princeton elbow rub stuff, you want to run the flex into it, you want to start in horns, you want to go screen to screener, you want to run 2-guard, whatever you want to run, you can finish with this offense, or this can be your primary offense. And we did both throughout the year, and I think both can be very successful. One thing I do think you want to do is work on your dribble penetration spots. And it's something, as the year went on, you get scouted more, knowing where you're going to be when you drive the ball to the baseline, to the middle of the paint, and being able to flow outside of your offense. And so at the end of the year, it was kind of a blend of dribble drive, Princeton, rub stuff, some flex stuff, everything kind of combined. And we would kind of morph in between all of those, and became very hard to scout. And like I said, we try to run all this stuff from out of bounds and out of bounds on the side. All right, so now let's start kind of breaking down position by position. 4s and 5s. So that's, and we play 4 guards. And so your 4 may be a really good shooter that can't handle the ball. So play him at the 4, and we'll show you some really good ways to get him open looks. You can play 2 bigs, you can play 4 guards. I think each has their advantage, and we did both at times. But just some basic rules. 4s and 5s are always opposite of each other. So if you split the floor in half and you got your midline there, we call it the tape, because we put a piece of tape down right on the middle of the floor so they know that's for offense and defense. But they're always opposite of each other, so they can't be on the same side of the tape. They're always looking for their partner. So if 4s caught it, his first look is always for the 5, and vice versa. They want to hold at the elbows before they pop up. You'll see a lot of times if they're denied, they'll communicate with each other and switch sides. That takes some time to get. That's a feel thing. There's going to be something that's going to have to be drilled and worked on a lot. Some skill stuff I think you need to work on. 4s and 5s got to be able to handle the ball. They got to be able to pass with both hands. Your traditional 2-hand chest pass that you learn at basketball camp from the time you're 5 years old really don't work when you're trying to make backdoor passes or hit the wing quick or make a good high-low pass or a skip pass to the corner. So right hand, left hand, strong hand, weak hand, passing off the dribble, passing around the defense. Being able to do all those things is very, very pivotal, and you got to work on that a lot in your skill breakdown. We try to work on getting out of pick and rolls as fast as possible. 90% of the time, maybe even more, we don't even set a ball screen in it. So we're trying to engage the defense into some type of pick and roll coverage, and then we're out of it. It makes it hard on the defense. Are we going to play it like a ball screen? Are we not? There's certain ball screen coverages we will set the ball screen, but 90% of the time we're faking the ball screen just to get that coverage, and we're out of it. If you're holding at the elbow and we have a baseline drive, we're going to dive that big from the elbow to the front of the rim. A lot of people 45 cut it from the opposite slot, but we're going to dive the big and keep a shooter spaced out in that open slot. So moving on to the guards. So the action we talked about, it starts on the look from the big. So, I talked about the big to big. The 4 is always going to look to the 5. And if you got your 1 through 3, 2 of them on that same side as the 4, they're not going to move until the 4 looks at them. So once the look happens, that's a kind of a Princeton teaching point. That's going to start our action, is what we call it. And we got 9 to 10 different things that can happen. one thing, and you've heard it a lot if you watch these clinics, that every cut's got to be a scoring cut. So I might not get it, but if I cut hard, I space out to the three. The guy behind me, the guy with the ball, somebody might be able to score because I made the help come, or whatever that might be. Your double side action. So you got twos and threes, or 1, 2, and 3. Some combination of two of those three on a slot, free throw line extended in the deep corner. Whenever the action starts, those two guys have to move at the same time. If one's too late, then you can help and recover. You can tag and get back. Whatever terminology you use on defense, but you got to be moving at the same time. We want to reject ball screens as much as you can. If we can get the ball to the baseline, we'll show you some clips. We get into what we call Barclays, which is where we work on 1 through 5. All of our players work on posting up. We got action as soon as the ball gets to certain points on the floor, the block, the baseline. We know where divers are coming from, and our guys got pretty comfortable doing that. You got to spend a lot of time being able to read the D, being able to read the low man, the ball screen coverage, if the opposite big is being denied. So we'll drill it 3-on-0, we'll drill it 3-on-3, we'll do it 4-on-0, 4-on-4. I'm a whole guy. So we're going to teach the whole thing first, and then we're going to go back and break it down piece by piece, and then we're going to put it all back together again after that. So I think if you're going to do any type of the stuff that we're going to show you here in a few minutes, you want to introduce as much as you feel comfortable first, maybe 2 to 3 actions, and then go back and start breaking it down. Your guys can start to realize, or your girls can start to realize, when we set this UCLA screen or we drive it baseline, this is what it all kind of goes back to. And you can start drilling down each part by part and building your offense back up that way. We try to really make the extra pass. We talk about giving up good for great all the time. We do extra pass shooting drills. We have our players passing almost all the time. Anytime we're working on shooting, I think passing is a very underrated skill, being able to pass it with both hands like we talked about with your 4s and 5s. Your 1s and 3s got to be able to do it as well. So we'll kind of start to get into our basic alignment now. So we got 2 ways we can run our stuff. This way here, it's a football term, but we got trips over here. We got 3 guys on the side. We got an empty corner. That'll be like your most traditional way to get into it. If we call this over here balance, which means we got a rim runner, 2 in the deep corner, a trail, and a guard with the ball. It's easy to get into it this way as well, through a reversal and a follow ball screen, and then the 5 would lift. You can keep them down here. We lift them almost every time. Our 4s and 5s were pretty mobile this past year, so if you got a dominant big who can't handle, you want to play them down there in the short corner, you can do it that way too. But we were trying to always get back up the lane line extended to get everybody kind of lifted above the free throw line. Okay, so that kind of leads into, I said 90% of the time we're not even going to set ball screens. The first thing we always want to try to do, which is this diagram here, is look to see if we can get a quick slip. So we're going to hit the wing, we're going to sprint into it, and we got a pretty simple rule. If your defender's above you, he's starting to head, starting to trap, show, whatever you want to call it, and he's not below you, and you're looking over your inside shoulder and you don't see a defender there, the ball screen's off and you're slipping it hard to the rim. We tell our guards here to catch and see. That's a Davison term. Catch and see, look at the rim, see what this guy right here is going to do before you put it on the floor. The only time you can put it on the floor right away is if you're going to reject it baseline, because that way you won't be running into each other. So, if he's coming here to set the ball screen, he slips, you can't make that pass, a little pass fake over the top of your head, shot fake raises the defender just enough. Now we've opened up a pretty good sized gap right here for the guard to get downhill and get a paint touch. All right, the next one right here would be what we call an X cut. So we hit the wing and free throw line extended, and this 4-man is just going to sprint through. The defender be right here, just sprint right off of it. A lot of people call it a brush screen. We call it an X cut just because we're trying to make an X right here between our dribble and the cut, and we're trying to get a piece of the paint. If it's a shooter and you can space them to the corner, That gives them even more space here. And so I would say these two things we probably do more than just your traditional stand still, tap your feet, feet on your shoulders, and set a ball screen. The next thing we'll talk about here is a ghost screen. You see this a lot in the NBA. You come to it like I'm going to set it. You get right underneath the defense and you pop right back. Teams that want to jump out and hedge early and you got a shooter, it's a great way to get an open three. Teams that want to trap, you get there, they initiate the trap. We'll show you some clips of us really working on our footwork, using our body to protect it, and hitting that guy for an open shot. The flip, this diagram right here. So anytime, and this is pretty common, anytime somebody goes under, we want to look to flip it. Against the ice, they're trying to down it, keep it here. We're going to back dribble a couple dribbles, then flip it. And then we're going to try to get the ball snake back here to the middle of the floor. We'll also do step ups and a get, which a get's just I throw it and I go right back and get it on a dribble handoff. Okay, so here's some clips of us doing it. All right, so we got a couple clips here of some slips. So you see this is actually from our second game of the year. So we're going to get the ball here to this big. All right, he does a poor job right here. We got it sealed. He should be looking for his partner. This is, like I said, the action here is not supposed to happen till the look. So he's supposed to be looking here, big to big. We got all this room right there to throw the high-low pass. So we don't get it there. All right, on the look, we got him moving at the same time. We hit the wing. We sprint into it. We slip. He does a pretty good job finishing his cut. He's trying to get outside the three-point line. He's cutting just hard enough to not let this guy sit right there on the midline to be able to come over here and challenge the shot at the rim. All right, so we're in a little set here, just a little false movement to space the floor. We come into it. He's so far behind, he can't see him at all. He finished his cut. His head's not under the rim. Defender has no hands, no ball pressure. Pretty easy pass, and we were able to make a layup there. So those two pretty good examples of a slip. All right, this would be a ghost. So we were in a step up here in transition. Don't have anything in it. All right, see our big switch sides here, which we talked about in the opening a little bit. That's just kind of a feel thing. They're staying opposite of each other. The ball sees these guys here now. All right, so we got a back door and a fill. All right, now he's pretty good. He was a senior for us, and he got pretty good at ghosting all his screens. So he's coming to it. You see 21 right here on defense is hedging. He never makes contact with the on-ball defender. We got him to go over just like we like. All right, a lot of space right here. He's finishing his cut. We're spaced out. We want standstill threes. He wasn't quite ready to catch and shoot. All right, we got a long closeout. Puts it on the floor hard. They're afraid to come over and help here because we got shooters here. Got our big dive into rebound, and we get an uncontested layup there at the rim. All right, ghost and transition are even harder to guard. You can see we're coming right down the floor here. We already got our trips alignment set up. Here comes the drag screen, which he turns right into a ghost. See how close he gets to the on-ball defender without touching him. We engage the other defender on their pick and roll coverage. 23 here does a great job. Jump stopping, pivoting to the outside hand pass, feet set, open three. Those are the ones we want right there. All right, rejecting ball screens. If you can get a trip set up in transition where you got this whole side of the floor opened up and you can reject a ball screen in transition and get it right to the block or to the baseline, we really like that action. So just a little simple in and out dribble, beats his man right there. Great job playing off of 2 feet, jump stopping, shot faking, and getting 2 free throws off of it. We had a guy open in the corner, great spacing, everybody outside the three-point line. Here we are here. We don't even really use it, even act like we're going to use it. We get it straight to the block. So like I said, if we got trips over here, and this is why I said it's really important to work on your dribble penetration game, and we get the ball here. This is a 45 cut. If he was to dive from here, We got our big here. We'd much rather him dive to the front of the rim or opposite block and leave our 2 guards here ready to catch and shoot or make the extra pass. So we get it to the baseline. All right, now this becomes a Barkley now. So if we drive it, we get cut off. We spin our hips, and now we just start backing them down just like Charles Barkley would back in the day. That's why we call it a Barkley. We got our opposite big that was diving because he saw the baseline drive. Now as we start to try to get this thing to the tape off the Barkley, if he comes over to help, we got an easy dump off to our big. So he gets it to the midline, right to the tape. Probably just need to be spacing down as the ball comes around. We work on this every day with our guards in what we call finishing school, where we work on different finishes, different post-ups. So he's going to make a pretty good move, spin back. The help comes. He missed the layup. We got the big right there to put it back in. All right, a flip ball screen. Again, we're coming down to transition right into it. And see, I think this is one thing I like about our stuff is I don't have to. The only time they stop doing it is if I kill it and I stop it. So my thinking is if a defense gets a kill against us, they've got 3 stops in a row, then I need to kill our offense, maybe get us into a quick hitter into this stuff, dictate the action a little bit to make sure we're getting a good look. So here in this game, we knew they were going to be going under ball screens. So we came off one dribble. The big flips it right back. He's dropped. He can't get back out here and challenge the shot. One of our better players right there taking advantage of it. All right, so these are kind of a combination of all the different ball screens we got. So we're in transition here. Originally, we got a ghost. All right, he doesn't drive the long closeout. All right, right back into a step up, kind of DHO. We get downhill off of it, we get cut off. All right, so now we're in our Barkley. He turns his hip, just like a post up. We got our opposite big diving right there. So by him diving, we suck in the low man here. He comes over to help because his man is now helping because we got the ball right there to the tape. We always want an outlet behind. We got the rim covered, and now there's nobody to get our man right there in the corner. Now he doesn't make the shot, but those are the shots we want. That's a standstill, 35% three-point shooter. Got the ball to the tape. 2 to 3 different types of actions they had a guard, and was able to get an open look. All right, so now moving into some of our actions. So that was kind of all the different pick and rolls we can do or show. Now the action. So the actions start, like I said, when this big looks at this offensive player right here. So our spacing is free throw line extended and dead corner. And this is the basic ball screen motion action is you got the back door and the fill. So they want to move at the same time. And so what we try to do is we look for that. We feel free throw line extended here every time. And then if you're not open, once he dribbles, you're looking to go back door. I would say we want to do that 80 to 85% of the time. Sometimes we will come for the DHO, the dribble handoff, and play off of it. But if you're here and you're not open, you need to be going back door. We don't make it a rule that you have to every time. We want to be able to make plays, but it's a read. So we're back door. We know we're not going to go any higher than free throw line extent. We're not going to come all the way up here, fight for the ball. We're right here. We're making a read. Am I open? Am I not? He's making the same read. As soon as he puts it on the floor, we're not setting our cut up anymore. We're cut hard back door. So here's some examples of this. So we got our 2 bigs switching sides of the floor. So you want to do this if back it up just here for a second. If he's got the ball here and he steps out lane line and we can make that pass, we want to make the pass. Here he never popped out. The spacing just wasn't quite right. So he's just going to they're going to switch sides. Remember, they got to be opposite of each other on the midline right here. So he's going to get to this side of the floor, which means his partner, the guy with the ball right there, has got to get to the other side of the floor. So that's going to start our action. There's no big to big. We're dribbling at. There's our backdoor cut. Now our spacing here is not great. We want to take one hard dribble, look to make the pass. Got a little too close to each other, still able to make the pass. All right, now here's our dribble penetration game. And instead of 45 cutting this guy, we would have taken away a wide open 3 or extra pass, we're going to dive our big. Here comes our big diving, hit right through the window, +1 pass, and an open shot. All right, here's our backdoor cut, pretty good cut. He feels right there, free throw line extended. We got 1 dribble, bounce pass right there. He jump stops, plays off 2 feet. We dive and we fill. Good shot fake, tack the long closeout. Don't quite finish the layup, but got it all the way to the rim. All right, we're going to flip sides again. Back door, second back door, right off the dribble. Finishing his cut so his man can't stop on the tape and challenge a shot there at the rim. This is second game of the year against a really good team who was another NCAA tournament team this past year. And this was a play that really helped win the game for us. And these were all reads. Like I'm not calling it. Like we're going to look for the second back door. We don't have a call for it. It's just guys making reads and making plays. So here I said you can run any type of action into your ball screen offense. Here we're in some of our chin action. We're looking for that flare. We don't quite have it. So now we're right into our stuff. So there's our first back cut. There's our second back cut. Great spacing, finishing our cut, passing with our outside hand off the dribble, leading them to the basket, plays off of 2 feet under control, and we get a layup. All right. Now our spacing here on the single side, he needs to be a little more in the corner than what he is. So we always want to feel from the dead corner, free throw line extended. And if we don't feel like we can make that pass, same action is going to happen on the single side. So he didn't feel like he can make the pass. 1 dribble, that initiates our cut. All right. Everybody's outside the 3. Shooters all over here. They can't be standing on the tape. Great pass. Plays under control off 2 feet. And we get another layup. Like I said, we don't do a great job here executing our out-of-bounds set, getting the ball in, finally get it in. But everything flows right into our main offense. So we're a step-up screen. We're out of it quick. So he's got to look for his partner right here. If he's going through his reads, this was second game of the year, so it's still something we needed to work on. His first look should be for his partner right here who's got a great steal and a high-low. And then once he looks here, this should start our action. So here we don't get the back door. Maybe could have got it. All right, we hit the fill this time. He was open. All right, so when we get this X cut, we want to always try to get it to the nail. The nail is the middle part right there, the free throw line. So we're driving it hard there. He gets cut off. Turns into like a little semi-Barkley move. And now he's making a read. He slides to the corner, keeps that great spacing right there. If he helps in too much, we got to kick out 3. He hugs a little bit right here, just kind of stunts at us. We work on one of our finishing school moves right there. He's able to make a left-hand layup. All right, so this is the semifinals of the tournament right here. And by this point, we weren't always back cut, finisher cut. We could back cut and fill out here to the corner in what we call a shake. So he fills out to the corner. We come off hard that ball screen. All right, his spacing should have been down a little more so he could have broke up here to get the pass. He's just kind of standing, knows he's not open, back cuts. All right, now, so I know some of you are probably thinking, well, if we can't hit that second back door, what do we do? Well, we take our 4s or 5s and we work on them Barkleying. So now he's just trying to get it right there to the block. We had a dive here, backs himself out, got it right to the midline, and was able to finish. So that's our backdoor and fill action. So the counter to that, and all these are kind of counters that continually build on top of each other, would be kind of us getting into our dribble handoff action. So when the action starts and 5 looks at 1, he can come for a dribble handoff. If he was not to get it, he's going to finish his cut out to the opposite corner. If he did get it, he's trying to get downhill. We're going to shake and roll, or if that's a 4, he can pop, and then we got the chance for the extra pass there. Okay, if he doesn't hand it to our 1 man right here, now it's a 2-man game, dribble handoff here with the guy in the corner. He can come for the handoff. If he's overplayed, same rules apply. He'll go backdoor. Same thing, no backdoor on the second one. If he was the back cut and not get it, we're going to Barkley it and get into our post feed. So this guy right here wants to make that read. If I'm up here and the defender that's guarding me is on the line, up the line, trying to take away this reversal, I'm on a back cut 90% of the time. If they're playing more in gaps, more pack, or they're trying to switch the back door in the field, well, we're going to come over the top, and they're just going to confuse them a little bit. A lot of teams that run straight continuity ball screens, and this is how we played it on defense, teams that we would guard that would run it, we would just switch the back cut in the field and try to take it away. Teams can't really do that on what we do because we're not always going to back cut and field. We may come here for a handoff, and we got, like I said, 9 to 10 different things. That's all initiated by this guy right here. And so if you don't know what he's going to do, you can't play it one certain way. If you don't know what type of pick and roll we're going to set, it's hard to put your ball screen coverage in to guard our stuff. So here's some clips of us in our dribble handoff game. This is actually from the year before. So here's the first handoff. We don't do it. We get second handoff. We get downhill. We make a great little pocket bounce pass. Just not able to finish at the rim. So back to this year, we don't get the first handoff. We do get the second handoff. And if you notice here, this is actually our 4-man. So we got 4s and 5s here on the same side of the tape. Well, that's one of the few rules that we have in our offense. And right now, they're not following it. So he knows he's got to get opposite of him. He could do it with the back cut and get out. He chooses to chase over top. His man's inside the pack there, so we're coming for the handoff. If he was to have handed it off, and this is our 4, we got our double side here, he would dribble at the action, and our flow continues. Okay, so he doesn't hand it off there. We got the feel. We're overplayed. We make a great backdoor pass, great spacing on the weak side. So we got the baseline drift, outside hand pass, stand still, open 3. All right, we didn't do this as much this year. This is great if you've got a bigger guard that can post. And so you would take this guy here. He would back cut like he's going to get out. We hit the wing, we turn, we post, and we try to feed the post to a guard right there. So here, it's a little different way for us to get into it, but here he is. He was one of our better players, averaged 17 a game for us this year, 6'3" guard. Was MVP of the tournament, first team all league. So anytime we could get the ball to him in this area, very crafty, really good at pivoting and finish at the rim using his length. We like to get the ball to him right there. You see he starts to get it to the tape. A good post move, spins back. We got our big diving. He doesn't finish the layup there, but we got our big diving and cleaning it up right there. So if you got a big guard, great way to get the ball right there to the block. You watch a lot of NBA teams, they're trying to initiate their offense from right there. So if you got a guard posting and then you got bigs diving and shooting on the weak side, so you're putting a better passer there, maybe a better playmaker with the ball. It's been a really effective way for us to get some good stuff. A lot of people, and like I said, a lot of these actions are stuff that I'm sure a lot of you do already. And so one action that's been really good for us is we'll go UCLA screen out of it. So we back cut, come right back, set the UCLA screen. And then there's a lot of different ways to continue the flow out of that. Obviously, you're looking for that layup. You're looking for the step out 3. You're looking for the high low. So this is like a little flex swing type action. You can reverse it right here on the step out to 4 and be right into your follow stuff. You can middle ball screen and pop. You can middle ball screen and roll. There's a lot of different options. So you'll see we did it a kind of a variety of ways over the last 2 years. So there we had a slip. There's the back cut into the and this guard, let me back up a second. This guard right here that's coming to set the UCLA screen. As the ball's in the air here, is calling UCLA, calling whatever you want to call it. And he's letting this guy know I'm going to come set a screen for you. So then we hit the wing. We don't hit there. No shot. So here we got a middle. By the end of the year, we went roll and replace right here in the middle of the floor. So there's our middle ball screen. We're out of it quick. We roll, high, low, and get an easy layup off of it. All right, here we get the layup off the UCLA. So he's cutting back door. He's communicating to the big, I'm coming to set a UCLA screen for you. We're lifting the other big, which takes the low man away. He was really good at hitting this wing and sprinting off that UCLA screen. We've lifted everybody above the free throw line, and we get a layup. So same thing here, set to UCLA. All right, if you notice here, they got to bring this weak side guy all the way in here because we got a chance right here to get it to one of our better players on the block. So now we engage the low man here. All right, he needs to be looking to make this skip pass as well. You can see he's all the way in here worried about giving something up on the block. No shot, ball screen, roll, replace. And when your bigs are threats from three, it makes a lot of things a little easier. So there we don't get the slip. We're into our UCLA action again. They both go with the big. We step out ready to shoot. Standstill three that we like to get. Here we hit the big. So here he needs to be cutting, instead of cutting towards the baseline, he wants to be cutting more towards the rim. And if he cut a little harder inside the lane there, this is probably an and one. So see, he gave his defender just enough time to catch back up. Instead of just trying to get to the line and make two. Okay, the next action we can go through here is what we call splits. And we didn't start doing this till later in the year. It's something I think is really hard to guard, so we're just going to come here and split. And as soon as five looks, we want one of these two guys to put pressure on the rim. So if he back cuts or curls over the top, our one man would pop. If three was to straight cut it here, he's got the option of slipping and emptying it out or coming right back to the corner, and we would be in a shake ball screen. So splits and shakes kind of go together. So once we get it to this side here, you can see we're going here right at each other, setting up our splits into the ball screen with the shake behind. Our best post player right there. Got good position. We get it to him. He gets it to the tape. We're here setting the hammer, sliding somebody to the weak side corner. Fades away a little too much and doesn't make it. But we got the ball to the block to one of our better players off of it. Here we are again, split. So he's coming straight cut, but he knows his man's way behind him. He starts turning it downhill right away on the catch. And I cut it off a little too soon here, but he makes a layup and gets downhill off of it. So he recognizes it. Maybe we got a throwback three right there, right off of it. He's open. We can slide to the corner here. We're in our dribble penetration game now, so we're sliding opposite corner, outlet behind. Would like to see him probably dive to the front of the rim to have some offensive rebounding there as well. All right, this action here can be a set, or you can incorporate it into your offense. This is some Davison type action that we like a lot. Good way to get some misdirection type action for a three. So this guy's gonna cut right here to the nail, kind of hang out for a minute like he's lost. We're gonna go ball screen. We're gonna reject it and screen back while we got the drift and the slot open there as well. So you got to work on your footwork, your timing on it, passing with the outside hand so you don't turn it over on this pass. But you can see we reject it. He drops down on the baseline drive, and we get a standstill open three right there. So there he cuts to the nail. We get the ball to the baseline. By the time the defender realizes it's too late, and we get a three off of it. So I said we'll run our stuff out of bounds under and out of bounds on the side. So we're just calling this action as our out of bounds play. We throw it back. So the inbounder becomes our deep corner guy. Now we're cutting through here. We hit the fill. We reject it. They know what's coming, but we do a good job setting that screen, not moving, and we make a good shot there. So this is after a timeout. We're finishing one of our sets. We're running with it. So you can add it at the end of sets. You can add it to your flow stuff. You can add it in a secondary action. He's at the top of the key. All the action's going to the baseline. It's really for he's doing a good job trying to find somebody to screen. And we get an open standstill three. This is something, the bottom flare that we started going to late in the year. Dayton, if you watch any of them this past year, they run it a lot. You can run all your actions out of the bottom flare. The only difference is our bottom flare is going to be dictated by our guy in the corner. He's going to start the action. And all our other stuff, this guy right here was starting the action, back cut, UCLA screen, dribble handoff, throwback, split, shake, whatever he wanted to do. So you got to call this probably something else. And so they know that this guy is coming and setting this flare. So you can flare and get through and pop back and empty it. He could flare and then come here to the block and post up. He could flare and then come set to UCLA. We can flare to the corner. We can flare and pop back. And then we can come for a DHO right there some. So all your actions that you're doing with this guy initiating the options and the actions can still be done the same way with your two-man setting the flare first. This is really hard to guard in transition. Teams that want to switch the backdoor and fill, if you can get to this is a great counter to it. So here we are right away in transition. He's waiting. We're playing way inside the pack there. He screens his own man instead of because he was closer to him. He pops right back and is able to get a wide open shot right there. So we get off the first screen, don't do a great job attacking. Got the flare. They're both inside, so we want to pop straight back, and we get an open three off of it. Here we are. We don't do a great job setting it, and then we get him right there on the block, posting up, which is the same clip we showed for our guard posting up. Here we are again. As soon as that ball's passed, we're sprinting in. He's reading his man. His man goes under it. He wants to pop back. If he was on the top side chasing, we can wrap it right there to the rim for a layup. He drifts a little bit on it. So then we he's calling out the UCLA action. So the bottom flare guy becomes our UCLA screener. He cuts off of it. Now he's got all this room. He's got to do a better job keeping his defender on his back, giving him more room to throw this pass. He loses contact, does a great job fighting for it. Should have had a layup, but get an open three. So just these last few clips here I got is just kind of us putting everything together. So you can see the different type of ball screens, the different type of actions, the spacing, the timing of everything. So here we are in transition. We get it to, so as soon as he makes his pass, I know I got to get to a double side. Our fours and fives are opposite, so we're in pretty good shape right now. Don't do a very good job at all attacking on this ball screen, but we get it to the next side. So we're on our second or third side now. We get to a split, and he puts pressure on the rim, slips out of it, can't make the slip, and now he's running back with it, which we've opened up this whole gap. He gets it right through the nail, takes some contact. If they don't call the foul, we got an open three, 2 feet in the paint. We're going to get something good off of it, either a kick out three, a layup, or we got fouled on that possession. So here we are getting into it. We get to a dribble handoff off of it. Good hesitation move, fighting to get through the paint. Gets it right there. All the spacing. And just a pretty good attack right there, not giving up on his drive. Here we are here. So you can run, like you don't have to, we're spaced pretty good here. This is our 4-man over here in the corner. So you don't have to run your 4s and 5s right here. Anytime you got them in the corner, they just become a step-up guy. They know they got to get back out here to this slot. The best way for them to get back out there is to set a step up. So we reverse it. He's sprinting into it, ghost it. Our pace isn't very good here. All right, we're not panicking. We're spaced outside the 3. They really don't have anybody in here to protect this back door that's coming. We're switching sides to the floor. You can see our 5 walking across there, telling him to dribble at. So we dribble at. He's not on the tape. One of our best players right there on the wing. Makes a great backdoor pass, and we get a layup. So we're trying to run a quick set here, quick hitter. They do a good job taking it away. So now we create our double side here. 4s and 5s are switching sides into a dribble handoff. We lift. We got a backdoor and a fill. He's getting right to the nail. Jump stop off of 2 feet. All right, bottom man comes in to help on the drive. That's the importance of getting it through the nail. Nice diagonal pass for a standstill open 3. So here we come down the floor right into a step up. Sometimes if we can just get it here and get to Barkley, we like that a lot. He just gets it to the 4s and 5s, switch sides of the floor, overplayed, great backdoor pass, all set up by our guy right here, our top guard finishing his cut, never really slows down. So then if he comes over and he's helping, we've always got the extra pass on the baseline to another extra pass to a ball screen. So you can see just how we can continuously flow and never really stop. And all these actions are counters to how the defense is being played. You may go in at halftime and say, okay, our most effective actions in the first half were these two. Let's come out and really the first 4 or 5 minutes, that first media timeout, let's pound these actions right here at them. Or you might say, you know, everything can work. We just need to reject the ball screen more. We use the ball screen every time. Or let's really drive long closeouts instead of taking that 3, get it to the baseline. Let's get to our Barkley stuff, and let's get the opposite action happen on the weak side. So that'll all kind of be based on knowing your personnel, how many actions you got in, the type of ball screen coverage you're seeing, how they're guarding the double side over here in trips. So anytime you're getting trapped, so this is kind of second half of the conference tournament, they started trapping our ball screens to try to turn us over. We're going to back dribble. We're going to short roll it right there. So we know one of these guys has to come. All right, so now we got a 2-on-1 advantage right there. Great pass right across the middle of the floor. Stand still, open 3. Drag and transition. We're trying to split. They don't give up on it. He drove it right here, realizes he had nowhere to go, backs it out, starts to dribble at the double side. We got the back door in the field. Got our opposite big diving to the rim for any type of cleanup, drop off. He needs to be sliding a little bit to the corner. Uncontested layup there. Is what we're trying to get. So he does a great job here getting this ball free throw line extended. We want this first ball screen to be as deep as we can get it. He went under. You can see he was starting to look to flip it. We get it to the other side pretty quick. Good cut. Start to reject it. Sees he's got nothing. We ghost the screen. We get into our split game. Gets it right through the nail, jump stops, and draws a foul right there. So that's I know I probably went too fast for everybody right through that stuff. But that's pretty much our main offense this year. And we do a lot of ball screen continuity concepts without setting a lot of ball screens. You can see we really want the floor spaced. We want backdoor layups. We want our big-to-big layups. We want standstill 3s. And like I said, we run our stuff out of bounds, under, out of bounds on the side. So you can take your 8 to 9 actions, however many you want to come up with, run them out of bounds under, run them out of bounds on the side, run them out of your basic alignment, run them out of a horn set. So, you know, you're not teaching your guys too many plays. Like we had 8 to 10 plays and we would run them, I don't know, 10 to 12 different ways. So they just have to learn the alignment, but then they already know the play. And I think for me, for our guys, that's much easier to remember than having 30 different sets, and for 25 of them, you're lining up different. So that's just something maybe to keep in mind as maybe you look at some of this stuff and look at building your offense for next season. So with that, I don't know if there's anybody that's got any questions or.
Yeah, Nick, let me. I've got several questions that I want to kind of throw out here to you real quick. First one is talk about in terms of your daily breakdown. In terms of how do you break down your actions? Do you do 2-on-2 work, 3-on-3 work to work on the 2-man actions, the 3-man actions? How do you do it?
So if you let's see where's our slide at here. Okay, so we do it like I said. So I'm a whole part whole guy, and so initially, we're going to teach the back door in the field, and we're going to teach the DHO. So the back door and field is your main action, and then the DHO is your counter. So we're going to teach those 2 actions first and show the whole flow and the timing of it. And then we'll go and we'll break it down 3-on-0 first. So we'll just have a drill here, and we'll put a line of guards out here behind 1. We'll put a line of guards out here behind 3. We'll have our 4s and 5s right here. You're going to have a coach just pass it to 4, and now these 2 guys are working on the timing of it. going on the look. And so we'll do that a lot of early especially early in the year. Like I think maybe the week before our conference tournament, we were still doing the same breakdown drill. So they're really working on going on the look. As you add more actions to it, early you can say, all right, we're going to work on this. And I want us to really focus on the timing and the details of this. As you get more into the year, you want this guy just making his reads and calling his stuff. So they're working on putting it all together in the flow of things. 4-on-4, 4-on-0 would be the next thing. So we'd have 4s and 5s. 5 would come and set a ball screen on the coach. Coach would get it here to the 4. And now we're working on looking for our partner, either skipping it to the corner, the big pass. And now you got these 2 guards right here holding and waiting until we get the look to start our next action.
Okay. Obvious question that came up from Coach Crump in the chat room was, what do you do against zone? Do you just run the initial flow to get some movement, or do you immediately jump into a zone set?
Well, we've tried to do both. I really think you can run this against the zone. We had a separate zone attack that we would do. Like I said, we didn't see a whole lot of zone, but you can do it against the zone. One thing we did against the zone is we would always try to have more overloads on the side, obviously against the zone. So the split and the shake against the zone is actually really good. So if you can imagine the 2-3 zone right there, and this guy goes, he shakes or splits and just kind of hangs out here in the short corner. All right, 3 fills. He's got the forward on him. The ball screen comes. We get off the ball screen. 4 pops. Now he slides right back out to that corner, and there's nobody there to guard him. And then you can have your 5 down there ducking in. So you just kind of tinker it a little bit, but I would go probably more shake action against the zone. The empty action doesn't help you a whole lot. And then instead of having your opposite big popping out here, if the ball's on the side and he's at the elbow, he can work in the high post. And then when he kind of sees the ball starting to cross the floor, he's stepping back out here to where he would normally be in your man stuff. So, yes, I do think you can run it. I think it's best early in the year, and we made that mistake of not saying we're going to do it against man and zone, and then trying to go back late in the year and say, all right, now we're going to do this against the zone. And it messed maybe a little bit with our man timing. But I think if you work on it from the start of the year, I think you'll be able to do it.
Do you like to script your initial actions early just to see, obviously first of the year, if you don't have a good scout on your opponent, you want to kind of see how they're going to guard your pick and rolls. Do you typically do that, or what's kind of your general game plan approach to seeing how teams are going to guard and then adjusting, knowing which actions you're going to run based on that?
Right. Well, we're fortunate on the college side of things that we got access to synergy and everything else, which, scouting for us is, that's a big part of it. Is we know unless they've had a week to kind of get ready for you and change things, what you're going to see. And I would say in high school, you're probably going to see the switch or a hedge probably the most as far as ball screen coverage. And I would think that the more you work on it and drill it, you'll be able to attack that fairly easily. As far as scripting stuff, I'll have our first 10 to 12 actions kind of scripted out and kind of counter them based off what I've seen in film. But like, I'm not telling our guys, our 5th time down the floor, I want you to run the throwback option. Like, I may be calling it as they're going down the floor, and then it may not happen on the first side. It may get to the second or third side before they get that action in. But you can script the first 2 or 3 sets. I think after that, it's kind of be out of the flow where you got to stop and walk it and get everybody where you want them to, and then call your action.
Now, obviously, with the shot clock, how many reversals can you get until you're kind of in a late shot clock situation? And do you just stick with it, or do you run something specific at the kind of in a short clock situation?
No, and I think we don't do anything different. Into the shot clock, and I don't think you see as many teams do it as much anymore in the college game, but they're for a 3 or 4 year time frame. Like, it was get it to the end of the clock, sprint up, set a high flat middle ball screen, and attack. We get a lot of our back doors late in the shot clock, and we want to continually have that flow because the defense is starting to, okay, we got 8, 7, 6. Let me take this pass away. and that's feeding right into our hands. So we're going to back relate the shot clock and hopefully get something at the rim. And that, I think two of the hardest things to guard are back cuts and ball screens. So if we can get to, and those are kind of the foundations of what we're trying to run. And how many sides, it just depends on how fast you get the ball across the floor, what type of ball screen coverage you're seeing. We would like to get 3 to 4 sides. We do a drill in practice. We put 20 seconds on the shot clock, and they're competing to see how many sides they can get and score within that 20 seconds. So, that's a good competitive drill where you can keep score and track how fast you're moving. It makes them cut hard. I think the most we've had in practice, that's 5-on-0s, maybe 7 to 8 sides in 20 seconds. And that's really moving and cutting. I mean, you're not going to get that in a game with defense. If you can get 4 sides, I think you've done a great job. 3 sides normally gets you an open shot.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking from experience, I know once we got to that second and third side, we're shooting layups or we're getting fouled there. So, what do you do in the situation where, let's say you come off the ball screen and your opposite post is being denied really hard? What is your counter for that? Do you still just go ahead and reverse it either to the wing or the corner and then continue to flow action from there, or what's your philosophy?
Yeah, so and I try to put a lot of those clips in there, but it's hard to understand too. So if you're looking here at this trips diagram, and let's put 4 at the elbow, he's holding, trying to time his pop out as we come off the ball screen. All right, if we come off this ball screen and let's say 2's got it and 4 is popped out there and he's not open, all right, he can back cut and get out, and 2 can continue and dribble over, and we can back cut and fill here, and then 4 or 5 would be coming over into a shake ball screen. If it's the scenario where 4's got it right here, 5 is not open, they switch sides of the floor, 4 dribbles at this side, we got a single side, he can go back to work on for the handoff. If 5 had the ball, 4's not open, he's switching sides of the floor. 5's now dribbling at a double side, which can start any of your action that you've worked on.
Okay, last question, and this is probably more for the college coaches that are watching this. What do you do when teams try to ice the screen? Do you just go to your dribble handoff option, or
Yeah.
What is your philosophy?
Yeah, ice is. I think ice is hard in what we run. We actually tried at the start of the year to ice our downside ball screens, and we had a hard time doing it. A lot of it has to do with the angle that this ball screen's coming at. So I got to go from guarding you here, and now I got to get all the way down here and be able to stop that baseline drive, which I think is hard. The DHO part of it takes away the ice completely. The flare, I think, will make it hard then to get back into the ice. But if we're here in this situation, like with 2 and 5, and we got X2 on the top and X5 right there, we'll short roll the 5 to the middle, right there to the elbow, and try to get it to him and make plays over here on the weak side. Or we'll string the ice up, get some space, we'll flip it, we'll set like a flat screen or step up on X2, and then what we call is snaking it. So I'm trying to get in between the 2 defenders, get the ball right there to the middle of the floor. He's letting it go and either rolling or popping, trying to get a paint touch off of it, and then play off of that.
Nick, this was an excellent presentation, and as somebody who loves ball screen offense, in this particular one, just some great options, some great breakdowns. Would you mind going back and showing your contact information again? Because we had some folks who jumped in late on the call here, and the best way to reach you and to connect with you.
Yeah, sure. So swoobasketballinfo@gmail.com. Just email us there. We've got this presentation, or if you want a specific diagram of an action, we can get that to you. But just send all your questions there and try to help you out as much as we can.
Nick, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to join us. And coaches, I'm going to go ahead and end the session at this point so that we can prepare for our 3 o'clock sessions. Again, thank you for joining us today, and hope to connect with y'all again here at an upcoming session.
Thank you.